Hi, I'm Eric, also known as Trekkie V47, from the Ranger Command Power Hour and the Starfleet Escape podcast. You're listening to another great Four-Eyed Radio product. For more shows, check out foureyedradio.com. It's morphin' time!
Hey there, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios, and this Four-Eyed Radio presentation is being proudly brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back for another week of Appropriately Inappropriate, episode 44. I am Kevin Elliott, and Nancy is still on vacation, living her life of luxury, which just pisses me off, because I'm always here, and she's always on vacation, so fuck her and her family. Right off the top, follow the show on Facebook at facebook.com/appinpod. That's APPINPOD. Just throw a like on there, and we post the episodes, and if anything comes up during the week, we'll post shit on there too. Let's see. Follow me on Twitter at Kevin_Elliott with one T at the end. And I don't know. I just post stupid stuff. I'm really an asshole to follow. And then for anybody, let's see. This is Sunday, June 8th. So tonight, I am in the Los Angeles area. You guys can come out and see me at the Crispy Comedy Show at Universal Bar and Grill, and then at the Comedy Store following that. And I'm bringing Rob Mabey and Mike Dapper with me. They're Phoenix comedians, so everybody out there can check those guys out too. Monday, the 9th, be at be at the Meltdown, and then the Comedy Store Monday night. And then Tuesday night, the 10th, we are at the Big Trouble at Lexington show. That starts at 9, and then we're hustling over to the Comedy Store for a 10:30 show that we'll be at. And then we're back home and doing shit here. And then we'll get into what I'm doing Friday and Saturday in just a little bit. Because our guest this week is the other half of our last week's guest, Richie Martin. We have Brian Vilona.
That is me.
What's happening, my man?
Not much,
Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. This is pretty awesome.
Right off the top, where can people find you and follow you at?
You can follow me on Twitter at Burnt Toast.
Why?
And it's spelled, because burnt toast was taken, it's spelled toast like toes, Toest.
That's so stupid.
It's really, really dumb. But I have about 8 Twitter posts, and I have a couple followers, but I follow a bunch of people, so you should check it out. I post showtimes and stuff on it.
So when Twitter first came about, I was like, I'll get on it. Like, I won't do anything, but I'll get on there. Mm-hmm. And I thought you had to separate your first and last name with the underscore. That's why I have the underscore. And now some old guy has at Kevin Elliott, and I message him all the time. Like, dude, can you please have the name? He hasn't been on for 2 years.
Like, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
So I don't know if I'll ever get that name. Pisses me off because I hate saying underscore. So Burnt Toast, BURNTTOEST. I like it. All right, that's
Burnt
cool.
Toast.
All right.
It's a little weird. Kind of describes the name, though. You know what I mean? Burnt Toast.
Instagram, Facebook?
I'm not on Instagram. I like Instagram. I think it's funny. I'm not on it. On Facebook, just Brian Vilona. And like you mentioned, we run the Taffer'd Room in Stand Up Scottsdale. So every Friday and Saturday, we have headliners from Los Angeles area or around the country that'll come in and headline for us, and then we fill the other spots with local comedians. So it's a pretty good and new show.
So I know who, but who do you have coming up this Friday and Saturday, the 13th and 14th?
Okay. For as far as like the headliners, TK is a comic out of Los Angeles, and I believe, let me double check. The following week we have, let me see here.
That's this
really
week.
Prepared I was.
No, I just threw it at you. So this comes out on Sunday. We're recording.
Is one Laquasto, and then I know, right? I know him really well. Richie does a lot of the headliner booking. I book mostly local people. And I butcher people's names.
Oh, okay.
That's what I usually do.
Well,
so
then
we kind
I'll
of work
tell you.
in tandem.
Yeah, no, I know Johnny. He's a friend of mine. So Johnny Laquasto was headlining the 13th and 14th. Mm-hmm. He's bringing Brian Moses with him to feature. Brian's a Comedy Store guy.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then and I'll be there. And Brian will be there, and Richie will be there, and we'll blow the shit out. So everybody, get your ass there. Pre-sale tickets should be pretty good.
Yeah,
I've heard from a lot of people.
They're $8 pre-sale and $10 at the door. So if you order them online in advance, save a little bit of money.
Get that link.
Get that link.
Get on the website.
No item minimum.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you don't have to drink, but we definitely invite you to. Otherwise, you're compromising your own time a little bit by being sober.
I know, it's so boring.
I know. A sober life is not one I lead.
No.
No, it's not.
That's horrifying. I look at a sober person and I'm like, how sad.
I know. I'll tell you a good sober story.
Do it now.
Right now, I was just drinking some water to get ready for it. So, I broke up with my girlfriend that lived with for about 3 years.
That's rough, dude. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Right. It was about a year too long. So, by the time you get out, you're ready to go. So it's not that big a deal. The haphazard thing now is like I moved out and I found a new place to live, which is great. But I don't own anything. So I have to buy like a bed. I'm sleeping on a cot right now, killing it. I have I have a dresser, not mine, somebody else's. Tons of backpacks. Don't have any boxes, just tons of backpacks and stuff. Just that's how I moved. It's just like backpacks.
Why do you have so many backpacks?
I don't know. I have that, and I have like a bunch of big like snowboarding bags. So like my life was in my car. It took about 3 car trips. And
to move your life. Your life is worth 3 car trips.
It's worth 3 Hyundai Elantra GT hatchback car trips. It was a crazy thing to have happen, but I'm really happy I did it. Just kind of moving on with my life, I took the last 2 weeks off of work just to get myself in the right spot, really. But aside from that, just playing the single game, meeting ladies, getting towed up.
I don't even know what that means.
It just means like trying to get other people to enjoy my beard besides myself.
Oh yeah, for anybody that doesn't know Brian, he looks like Zach Galifianakis. Mm-hmm. We should do this like a Between the Ferns.
We should
episode.
Do you have like fake plants?
No,
fake
I love that
to come
shit,
with it.
Yeah. It's so funny.
It is really good. He's a very funny man.
Yeah,
known more for his acting than his comedy, but to me, a comedian.
Yeah, of course. To comedians, he's hilarious.
Like the Purple Onion stuff is really good. Like the timing, delivery, the fact that he wants to make you so uncomfortable that you'll have to start laughing. I like that style of comedy.
I liked his one joke that was, it was, you're an alcoholic when the bartender knows your name, and you've never been to that bar before.
The timing and delivery is so good. So, like, if there's someone that I like, personally, probably Louis or Zach, those are the comics that I don't emulate after, but like I find inspiration from. Like the timing and delivery and like their path and like what they choose to say.
Yeah. So you're a comedian. You do run the show in the Taffer'd Room. Mm-hmm. And we talked to Richie last week about how it kind of came about and what you guys do. Mm-hmm. So Richie kind of books the headliners, deals with them, and you do with the local guys.
Yeah, so we kind of it just ended up that way. It's just kind of funny how that works. I don't know if you sounds like you're already up to speed on the history of the show. We inherited it from like these college kids, and they were in over their head. They didn't know what to do with the room. So Brian Rhodes and I, a good friend, he's out in L.A. now. You should check him out. He's very funny. We took over the show. We renamed it like 5 times. We started doing a joke off, which is like a show format, like head-to-head comedians, like write topical information, and then they go against each other. And it kind of just grew from there. So we're about 2.5 years in. We added Richie of late. Brian moved, so it's Richie and I, and then Richie just kind of, over the last 2 months, just kind of delegated that responsibility. I like it a lot, though. Like, it's a good room. It's really cool that we can run 2 shows in one club at the same time. Yeah. Especially in Arizona with a growing comedy scene and people that like want to go see fair price entertainment. They don't really know what to do, and they don't want to see like a movie or stay in or whatever. Yeah. Like the Stand Up Scottsdale Club, like the one on Bar Rescues. So it's my favorite place. Yeah. It's my home court.
It's it's a fun place to hang out. Mm-hmm. I mean, the comics go there. We just kind of bullshit all night. And when it's our time to go up on stage, you run up there.
All the time. Yeah. And that's the key is you just have to be around and, good things will happen. Hopefully.
Eventually.
I'll see you on Thursday. All right, maybe. I'll see you. I don't know if you're going up, though. We'll see.
Yeah, totally. Totally. But if all else, at least just to support the guys because you build such a close friendship. Yes. This whole comedy life, I say it all the time, it's a fraternity. Nobody else knows the lifestyle that we have. I mean, you can't relate. Yeah. It's a fucking crazy life.
There's a lot of people, but it's a pretty tight-knit culture of people. Yeah. So, like, names and faces are things that sometimes escape you, but it's if you play a lot of the rooms in town, like, you're going to cross paths with everybody. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, everyone's really cool.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
no matter what clubs you do or who you are, where you're from, like everyone's really cool here, which is nice.
Yeah, it's,
Not always
it's
like
really
that.
nice. It isn't like
I'm
that.
sure if I make more friends, I'll find distasteful people too. I hate you.
Maybe. I've heard about weird drama going on lately. I'm like, dude, this is what it was like when I did this 10 years ago, man.
I feel like when you have those personalities, especially in comedy, you're going to get that. You're going to get the A-type, egotistical, self-centric people that are like, fuck everybody. So for me, it's not a big deal. Some people it is. We're all in the same pool, though. We're not in Los Angeles or New York. We're in Phoenix. So, it's all about putting things in perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's more cutthroat in L.A., Chicago, and New York because it's not just stand-up.
Yeah.
Like, it's guys trying to get noticed for TV and writing gigs and commercials, and you see people at auditions, you're like, oh, I thought you were just a comic, now you're an actor too, what an asshole.
Yeah.
Out here, all we have is stand-up.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
in
pretty
Phoenix,
much it.
that's all it is.
There's, maybe one or two good improv, actual improv comedy places you can go see. I think Jester's one of them. I've never been, but
I
it's...
in a long time.
It's clean, too, which is, to their credit, not an easy thing to do. So
Yeah.
it's worth checking out. But I've never seen it, so maybe it's good. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
Depends on what you like.
So how long have you been doing stand-up?
I've been doing stand-up for about 5 years. I had my 5th year anniversary about a month ago.
Oh, congratulations,
Oh, thank
man.
you. I should be farther along. And you meet people.
You're fine.
It's funny because you meet people that have been doing it less than a year and they're just killing it. And I've been doing it for 5 years, and everyone's path is going to be different. You're gonna take longer or shorter to get to certain stops.
Yeah.
And then excel past them. And I think the thing that 5 years gives you more than anything is just the presence, the comfortability on stage, the ability to read a room and understand. The writing's the hardest part. So it really comes down to, okay, what am I trying to do, or how am I going to write new, relevant, interesting, something that's not going to be losing flavor too quickly? Because that happens. You write a lot of local jokes, stuff that kind of dries up,
Yeah, it does out here, especially playing the same, I don't know, I don't want to say the same room, but the same area of the city.
Yeah. You get kind of a rhythm almost, and then you never have to break out of it.
But then you'll find when you go to other cities and other states and you start doing your stuff, the easy jokes that you have about Arizona, which are stupid out here, are hilarious in other places.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, just the stupid things of anywhere you tour in the spring and the summer, and it's not in Arizona, and people are like, oh, it's so hot. Just be like, dude, I was out looking for a coat because I'm from Phoenix. And people laugh. And it's like, all right, that's the easiest, stupidest thing in the world, but they laugh and they kind of get on board.
It's like an elevator conversation.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But it's a trick that works. But so it's boring for us. It gets to be boring. Works in other places. That's why you keep doing it and just kind of honing it.
Yeah.
But
there's more things you can say.
So what made you, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay, so started when you were 23.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into it?
I think I was funny in high school. No, I think honestly it really came down to wanting to entertain people, and comedy is the way I found to do that. I've always really liked that. I'm an extrovert, all that. So I found my way into doing comedy as I was in a fraternity in college, and they were doing this beauty pageant is my introduction, and I had to do halftime entertainment the Brian Vilona show. So I did, and it was completely clean and appropriate, and it was layup because it was all sorority girls and younger people. So it was a really healthy introduction to it, and then I did an open mic a week later, and just boom, welcome to comedy. just kiss the
with
ass.
the same material.
Similar material because you're so new. You just kind of do what you think works. You don't really have proven stuff. But yeah, and then I started grinding, at the Comedy Spot, and then Stand Up Scottsdale, and I'm just pretty much all over.
Cool. And so, what's your process? I ask this of every guest because it's different, but it doesn't really veer off so much.
Yeah.
But what's your process of coming up with a joke and writing it or performing it? How do you get from brain to mouth on stage?
So it usually comes down to I'll say something, and let's just in casual conversation, or I'll think of something, and I'm there's something there, and I'll write that keyword down, and then I'll add on to it the next day, and then if in the morning I like it, I'll keep it. Otherwise, I'll scratch it, and I'll
writing
just keep
it down or just thinking about it in your head.
Thinking about it, and I'll add jokes in stages. So I have I wrote a joke about IKEA, because I was building with IKEA with my girlfriend, a stupid TV stand, and I wanted to just murder her because she was being so awful. Because there was actual pieces missing.
Yeah.
And it was just cause where is it? I don't know. It's there. No, fuck you. And it just caused such a thing. And I'm like,
I can't believe this relationship didn't work out.
Oh, why wouldn't it happen for me? So that became a joke for me, and it's great because it's universal. Like, most people buy things from IKEA, and they just whatever. But there was something there. There was meat there. Does it have legs? Maybe, but I kind of just started to add to it. Mm-hmm. And then I did a couple tests with it, and then I found where the real punchline was, and then I was kind of able to iron it out. So it takes maybe a couple weeks to get a really good joke.
Yeah.
You can write a joke and do it and learn, but to get a good joke where you want it to be, it takes maybe 5 to 10 times telling it, moving things around, switching the punchline, the emphasis, you know what I mean, the vocabulary changes, stuff like that.
Yeah, because what's funny is with a joke, you can say it the same exact way 9 times in a row, like the first 9 times. And then you get to that 10th time and something happens to you on stage where you tweak it a little bit and don't even mean to. You just do, and it gets this reaction, and you're like, all right, this is moving.
Yeah.
This is why I'm saying it so many times up here.
You can feel it when there's a joke that's missing something. You're like, I like the premise, I like where it's going, but there's just not the payoff, or there's a word that needs to get changed. And that's the journey of comedy, is figuring out what is it going to take to make those people respond.
And you need to be fearless in that you have to be comfortable with eating shit.
You have to. You can't. I get a little too cozy because I get to go up every weekend and stuff, and I get to do like my favorite material, and then I'll start to incorporate new stuff.
Yeah.
And
which is the smart way of doing it.
It is, because otherwise I don't waste and squander that time.
Yeah.
I can improve personally, which is important. But you, like the other mics across town, the open mics, the show up, go ups, like, bring the new material and eat shit because you have to. Like, you're not doing comedy just for the payoff. Like, it's a grind. It's not easy. Yeah. And if you're just doing it for the payoff, you're in the wrong business because you're going to get depressed.
You know what's weird? I think it's always that facade that comics are depressed.
I think so. I don't know why. Like, I'm a mostly happy person.
Yeah.
But I get depressed too.
Yeah.
And then it comes out on stage and everybody wants to cry.
I don't know, man. Like, you don't see too many people depressed, and I'm not. I am happy, I think, for most of the time. And I think that's like for a lot of people. So it's like, oh, these comics are depressed, and it comes from this terrible place. No, it just comes from my life. It's not.
Well, it's the lens.
Life.
Like, that's what makes a comedy, like a comic, for example, is the frame you put around the world. Because there's no original ideas anymore. It's just like, what's your perspective? What do you have to say?
Yeah.
And that's why people, they think you're depressed because your angle is like, oh, it's dark, or it's dry, or it's low energy. And you're coming from this place of like, oh, well, that to an audience member looks depressing.
Yeah.
But it's funny. So does it matter really if it's happy or sad as long as you get a response? Probably not.
No. I think you're right, man. I always like your outtakes on shit. We always talk before we always talk before the shows, dude. You always say stuff where I'm thinking one way and you persuade me into believing your shit. You're like the David Koresh of comedy.
I just don't believe in myself is the problem. I'm like, yeah, my own lemonade. I never drink that. It doesn't taste good to me. I don't know. I think mentally, like with comedy, and maybe you can contribute to this too. It's like when you go up, you go into a different mental place to be able to do comedy. Like you go into like a zone almost, and you don't really remember what you said or really what happened. It's like getting in a car crash or like blacking out, and then you kind of come out of it, and it's just kind of like a surreal experience. Like you just kind of go into this plane.
Yeah.
At an open mic.
Yeah, but you know what? I get that when I have a good set.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said.
Yeah, it's like a blur.
Yeah. But then my bad sets, I'm like, fucking, this whole thing I remember in my head.
It's because the minutes, or the seconds are minutes and minutes are hours. This is what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like knives like stabbing into your heart.
Yeah, man, the good sets, they totally are. It's a blur. It's like, damn, dude, I did so good.
The drive home after a show. The drive home is the biggest thing for me. If it was a good show, it's like, it's great, and I'm playing music. And if it's like bad show, I'm listening to like something corporate Constantine really loud with the windows up so no one can hear me. Just like I'll stop by Chick-fil-A if they're open.
I do. Taco Bell is mine.
Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Every time I have Taco Bell, it's like quesadilla, crunch wrap, cheesy gordita crunch, and then that's sickness.
You're the only other person I know that gets that. The cheesy gordita crunch.
Cheesy gordita crunch is an underrated meal.
They're great.
It makes me sick instantly, but I love it so much.
The people at Taco Bell know me, because I go there like so late.
And you order one?
And now they're like, how was the show? I'm like, obviously terrible. I'm here.
Yeah. I'm talking to no one and eating 4 items at Taco Bell.
Totally.
Spending over $10.
You said you had the breakfast, though, at Taco Bell.
I did. I've been enjoying the new life of a newly single man, and I've been going to bed around 7 a.m. in the morning because I took the last 2 weeks off of work.
You have no idea how awful that sounds to me.
So I was awake at 7 a.m., and I was hanging out with my new roommate, who's super cool. To make the story better, I used to play Magic, the Gathering, the card game, and he plays it too. And that's how I bonded with him until 7 a.m. We weren't partying. We were playing Magic, the Gathering. And he's like, you want to go to Taco Bell? And it's like 7:13. Okay.
Well, you...
Let's go together. And then he's like, all right. He was giving me advice. He's like, what should I order? I was like, what should I order? And he's like, well, get 2 things because it's not as big as you think. I was like,
because it looks big on TV.
The pictures.
Yeah.
They get you.
They don't do it justice.
They don't. I got
they
the
do it
waffle
too much justice.
taco, which, what we were saying, it looks like a mattress folded in half, but it's really tiny, like a shitty Eggo waffle.
Yeah, it's just, they literally cut part of a mattress.
Lay a sausage on an Eggo waffle and force it closed. And then pay $2 for that. That's what it is.
Do they put syrup on it?
They give you a syrup packet, which I did not use. I saved for later.
For what?
For another lonely moment. For a sugary treat in the future to enjoy solo.
So then what was the other thing you got?
I got the whatever breakfast crunch wrap, which was good. It was kind of like it felt like a deflated football. It felt like squishy, kind of small, like a leathery. It wasn't brown. It was good.
So Taco Bell's breakfast, summed up, is a folded mattress and a deflated football. and Brian Vilona will eat there every morning until he gets a girlfriend.
I felt great after eating and then awful immediately.
Of course.
There's nothing like having like diarrhea at like 7:30 when you ate at 7:13.
And you still have to go to bed.
Yeah. And I'm like, I haven't slept and the sun is so bright. It's so hot. And then I feel gross. And I'm sleeping on a cot, which is uncomfortable. That's...
I saw a mattress on the freeway. I swear to God,
I didn't picked it up.
I didn't know if I knew that you needed it.
I know. Well, it's wants and needs. Wants and needs. I went to Walmart at 2 a.m. in the morning to buy this cot. And I was waiting in line, and I'm usually the one judging people at Walmart. I felt like everyone was staring at me like, who's this fucking asshole buying a cot and a queen sheet spread at 2 a.m. in the morning? Like, what happened to his life, his night?
Yeah,
and I'm
someone just got kicked out of his house right now.
You look like you're sleeping in the back of your car. Going to the park? Is that where you're going to set your cot up? You're going to go camping?
Yeah. I'm the fancy homeless type. I won't sleep on the ground.
So how everything is going is good. There's a lot of optimism. But it's like it gets better commercial. It's just I'm not that gay. It's like close. I feel that way right now.
Oh shit! Well, does your beard itch?
It's funny because I do the inquisitive and I'll stroke it. It can. Like once you get to like maybe weeks 2 and 3, it gets itchy. You gotta push through. That's where the good beard comes in.
Is it? I never make it past the itch.
It's like a crack addict.
I also can't stop feeling it for whatever reason. I'm always brushing
doing this.
myself.
Or if I'm stressed or nervous, extra facial rub. Where you're like, oh, what does he have in there? Is something going to come out like a bird?
How long have you had the beard for?
For as long as I've been a fatter man. For as many minutes.
That's when I started going by, dude.
It's a great thing. If you look good in a beard, wear it, especially if you're fat, because then it hides your face. It doesn't hide the rest of your body, but you ever seen a girl with like a really good face and okay body, and you're like, her face is nice. That's what a beard does for me.
Okay.
It's like a shitty Halloween mask. It's like a less fat version of my own face on my face.
Jesus. How long are you planning on keeping that thing? Forever? Would it kill you if you had to shave it right now?
Kryptonite. Take it away. I feel like the beard works. I've lost 22 pounds of late. So
Dude, awesome.
I'm on the track of the single town. I know. So I'm trying to get that right. And it'll be like a ceremony. When I'm like, oh, I can fit on my old shorts, like shave it off.
Yeah. Send it to Locks of Love.
Exactly.
Like, this isn't long enough.
This is for someone else now. I hope this ends up on someone's chest or back.
Yeah, totally.
Go in there. Do you have any chest or back hair available?
Actually, we have the new Vilona.
Yeah. Right from the face.
talk to Vilona? Is he bringing some more stuff in?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, he's planning on shaving in 2 weeks. Oh, we'll be back then.
All right, I'll see him. Is it getting gray yet? No, maybe. I'll come back in a week. Maybe.
Yeah, I got a date.
Yeah. Well played. Well played.
All right. So, when Richie was on, talk more about the show in the Taffer'd Room. When Richie was on, he said it gets pretty stressful sometimes dealing with all the comics, the show itself, and whatnot.
There's a lot that goes into it for sure.
Yeah? You're just as stressed?
I think we're stressed in the way that, you want to succeed. I think that we have passion for comedy and we really care about it. So when you run a room and you're running 4 shows every weekend, that's attached to the main room, and which is great because we have that opportunity, but it's stressful because I feel the pressure to perform well and have a successful show. So it becomes less about your comedy and more about your product. How are the customers doing? Did they have a good experience? Are they going to use word of mouth and tell their friends? What are the comics' experience? Why does every comic want to go up all of a sudden when they know it's a book show? I'm happy to give away time when it's available, but that's the little things, the in between the lines, the promotion, and if anything, it's the best and greatest learning experience in comedy we've had is being able to run this show. Stress comes with it, but just like anything, it's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of like I feel the pressure to have a successful show turnout-wise and product-wise. I want the clients, like our customers, to have a great time. And that's how you proliferate the show. But yeah, totally feel just over my head, drowning. No, it's a great thing to have happen. There's not that many comedy clubs in general in Arizona, and let alone one that'll give you a chance like that. So you got to take it and own it and foster it and grow it. I would love to create something that, and as we're building the show, that sustains itself, where I can go to LA for the weekend or where the fuck ever and relax. And you created something. It's like a business. President can leave and it still runs. And while it's still on its baby legs right now and it's still getting up and walking and we're all learning, it will get there. But the thing is, right now we're going to be doing the most amount of work, and that's what I've been telling, like Richie, for example. The most amount of work is just getting it launched, and once it's chugging, it'll be much easier to maintain. Yeah,
I agree. And everybody that has been out there knows that it is a really good show. This isn't just it's not just a side room show. It's not that at all. The guys that headline there are legitimate headlining guys. I mean, like, I can speak on behalf of Johnny, who goes to Vegas all the time and works in the big rooms there. And he's in L.A. nonstop, working at all the big-time clubs there. Like, the dude goes around, he's a headliner. This is what he does.
Yeah, this is what he gets his paychecks from.
Yeah. So when you go to this show and it's like, oh, it's in the side room, like, yeah, it's another comedy show with another great headliner that other clubs in the city would die to be their headliner.
And it's cool because I think there's a couple things that are really awesome about it. It's kind of like a comedy buffet. You go in like, hey, we got 2 headliners tonight. One's in this room, one's in that room. Product-wise, it's really not that different. Like, the main room obviously has more capacity. But let's compare it. It's not equivalent. Let's compare it to the store in L.A., They have 3 rooms that run simultaneously, 3 shows. Like, this isn't a new idea. But for consumers, it's about explaining it to them and really making sure they understand, like, oh, okay, well, there's 2 shows. It's adverse to normally what people see in comedy, but it's a great time.
Yeah.
The headliners are great. We had Zoltan, which is awesome. We had Joe Dash, which was awesome. And Josh Nasser and Justin Resnick, who's great. John Resnick. So I'm bad with names. I'm great with faces, though. Show me a lineup.
John Rudnitsky.
Yeah, so he did the Send Me a Dick Pic video. It's a parody of Selfie. Went viral. He's really funny. His stand-up was really good. I enjoyed it. So that's kind of like the level of the talent.
Yeah.
And then we had Eric Knowles here the week before, who's friends with Zoltan, who's from San Diego. So there's a lot of good local people mixed with those headliners.
Yeah. And again, I can't say it enough. They are all very, very good. They're polished comedians. It's not new guys. Just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean they're not a headliner. It doesn't mean that they're not the funniest person you've ever heard before.
Yeah, for sure.
You only know the regular comedy fans probably only know 15 to 20 comedians that they can name.
Yeah.
And I think I'm even overshooting that.
Yeah.
It may be
like 5 or something.
Yeah, like
it's
5
like
or
Chris
10.
Rock, Louis, Seinfeld are like the 3, and then there's a couple other ones.
Yeah.
Tosh.
Right. We know every comedian because it's what we do.
Like a Ben Roy or a Kyle Kinane, like they don't know who those people are, but to me, like those are my favorite comics.
Yeah.
I love those comics. They're great.
All right, so let's get into that, dude, and then we'll come back. Obviously, we'll
sure.
keep talking about the show. But so your favorite guys, who influences you? We kind of talked about that a little bit, but let's break it down.
Sure.
Who influences you? Who do you listen to the most? And answer those.
Okay, so we'll start there. Perfect. So Ben Roy probably first, based on he is so smart. Like the adjectives and the transitional words and the way he describes things is amazing, and it really comes down to the writing. So like his writing's sophisticated, his personality is like the I'm in your face. It's like a smarter Lewis Black without the stupid finger wave. Is what Ben Roy is. And he's out of Denver, and I think he had like the #2 iTunes album download for comedy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's just killing it, on fire. And he created a group called the Growlix in Denver, which is kind of like an improv almost troupe. And then he's a great inspiration for me because he has the same kind of like dark path. I don't want to make it sound bad. He's got a dark path. It's like a Batman.
He also murdered 4 people.
Yeah. They're in his trunk right now. No, he's a great inspiration because I met him also. And the biggest thing I'll say about Ben Roy is before it was a Taffer'd Room, we were still doing shows in the side room, essentially. And we were called The Secret Show back in the day. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Stupidest thing ever.
It's awful.
Because we couldn't, for lack of a better name, right? And so he was headlining, but he was warming up, so he did our show too. And there was maybe like 5 audience members, and he just killed it.
Yeah.
110%. And I've seen people phone it in those circumstances. Even I've done that, or other local comics. But he just like went for it. I had so much respect for him after that. So to see someone do that and love comedy that much and go for it, it won my comedy heart. So he's, from personal level, great comic. Like seeing that, total respect for him. Aside from that, Kyle Kinane, similar but different. He's from Chicago. Just amazing vocabulary, amazing descriptionary words, the way he explains things. And his like raspy voice, like it just kills me. So like that's the type of comedy, if I'm going to buy it, that's what I'm going to buy. Like people that are up and coming, they might have a Comedy Central Presents, but you don't know about them in the major media. But they're on their way. Like in 5 to 10 years, these are the people you're going to be seeing on major television.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
Because I think they're
well,
there.
Kyle's like a step there already.
Kyle's like, he's got a Comedy Central thing.
Yeah.
Ben Roy's getting there. He's in a different market. But they're like on that next wave, and that's what we're trying to catch. Is like as people like as the Louis gets older and as the Dane Cook happily disappears.
he's back.
No, he's back. Yeah, I don't know how back he is. Dave Chappelle's back too.
Yeah.
He was in Phoenix, and I didn't see him. I regret that.
Yeah, it was a good show.
I'm Rick James, bitch. I'm sure he doesn't get tired of hearing that.
Yeah, right.
And he's jacked now. That's the other thing.
Yeah, dude, it's weird.
It's not. So that's the thing is like you and I are about the same size. We're uncomfortably fit in our clothes. We can't wear 2 layers unless it's to hide your man boobs. Like that's what we do. Black shirts all the time. This is closest. We're about the same. You and I about.
All right.
I don't know where I was going with that.
That was it. Just to cut me down a little bit with you.
I just want you to feel like me. I want you to have a beard too.
You said Chappelle was Jack.
Oh
now.
yeah, sorry. So it comes down to maybe subject-object conversation. Like Dave Chappelle was this like skinny dude who's kind of awkward and like let's fuck bitches and smoke weed. That's how like kind of his persona was. But now he's ripped. Like, ripped guys aren't funny.
Right?
They're not funny. They're scary. Nothing's funny about the guy with the abs. Like, no one... You're not life... It's not a believable story. Your life's not hard. You're not struggling or suffering.
Yeah.
You have fucking abs. You eat great. Things are going wonderful for you. So as I lose weight, that's something I think about is, well, the deprecation. How can I change my humor? How can I evolve it to become better, more relevant to myself,
Yeah, it's easy. It's you. Mm-hmm. You don't know anything better than yourself.
Comes out of your heart.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Talk about that weight loss. Ease your way into getting to that part of the process.
I'll just talk about like working out, but I don't work out.
There you go.
Or just be like,
what do you do?
Dude, I just like, okay, so I wrestled for a long time in my life. So my body's fucking weird. It's really used to gaining and losing a bunch of weight really unhealthily and then gaining it all back really quick. So since I moved out of my ex-girlfriend's house, life's been kind of crazy. So like I've just been eating chicken and salad and crying and all that weight. Not because of her, but because I sleep on the cot. The cot is, okay, you can sleep on your back on a cot, great, but on your side, murder. Don't do it. feels like a strong man's holding you up. It's not comfortable.
Dude, that's funny. So that's it. Just eating
less
and different.
I mean, like, you know, I can't attribute how much that time off of work has really been helpful because
So you just moved out of your girlfriend's place.
I did.
And you lost 22 pounds since you moved out?
Not like immediately. It like over like about 3 weeks.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I know, it's probably unhealthy.
That's crazy.
How do I look?
Dude, you need to have your own infomercial or something.
I've lost it on sadness.
Yeah, fuck, dude, that's 7.33 pounds a week.
Dude, it's like a pound. Yeah, fast. That's pretty good. It's like a poundish a day.
Holy shit, it is.
But you have to have it to lose it, though. You know? Gotta have it to lose it. Normal people can't lose that
eating
way.
chicken salad and crying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it.
A lot of sleeping on your friend's couch, that'll make you lose weight real quick. That'll make you think about a lot of shit.
Have you ever gone to bed hungry?
I did last night. It was awful.
No, that's sad.
I wanted to eat a
sad.
pizza, a whole pizza. I wanted to order one. I thought about buying, like driving to order a pizza, like a DiGiorno. No, couldn't do it. Couldn't get into the car. I just forced myself.
Dude, if you're gonna do that, the only reason I asked because I've done it.
Yeah, you're like,
I was so hungry and I was like, should I go get something to eat? And I'm like, but I was like starving. And I'm like, fuck it, dude, just force yourself to sleep.
Oh yeah, go to bed. It's like having to pee and then wanting to get up. You're like, I don't want to get up, but I have to pee. How much torture can I go through?
Totally. Holy shit. But now, if you're going to go get a DiGiorno, don't. Go to Domino's, because it's like $5 or $6 for carryout.
Yeah, that's
DiGiorno's
true.
like $8, and then you got to cook it yourself.
Touche.
Yeah, fuck DiGiorno.
Dude, you and I need to fat out. Let's do it.
Did you see the Louie where him and Robert Kelly go do a twofer?
Oh, I love that show, though. I haven't seen that
I
one.
think they call it a two. No, it's called something else. It's not called a twofer, I don't think.
I know that in like the opening credits of the show, he fat eats a piece of pizza, so he gets 2 bites and he's like, ugh. He throws it away.
But him and Robert Kelly decide that they're gonna like go to the gym and lose weight the next day. So like today we're doing a twofer or whatever, and it's when you go to a restaurant and eat a full meal. And then you go to another restaurant immediately after that's different food and eat a full meal, like dessert, everything.
6 courses, 1 hour.
Yeah. So it's like if you go do Indian food first, then you do like Italian food for your second one, and then you're done.
Go to like Oregano's, get a pizza cookie at the end, and then eat like a whole thing of Chinese food.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Go to Oregano's, go with baked ziti, pizza, the cookie, dessert, and then go to Chop and Walk next door.
Oh my God.
Get sweet and sour chicken, crab puffs. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, just like cry as you're signing your bill.
Yeah,
No.
you just know you're gonna die probably right when you walk outside.
I've definitely done fat things like that. That's incredible, though. That's an investment of your body and your wallet.
Oh yeah,
it's like a fattest, saddest investment.
I wonder what's the grossest thing what's the gross? I'll tell you this. It was the laziest day of my life, which is, that's saying something.
Because there's every day.
Yeah. I was living with these 2 dudes. I don't even know why I said 2, because only one comes into play.
Dudes.
We woke up, it was a Saturday. We woke up early and just laid on the couch. And it was the greatest sports. It was just a day filled with sports on TV. So it was like the NBA playoffs were on. The Kentucky Derby was on, and then like the Tyson Holyfield fight was on that night. So it was like one after another. We're like, dude, we're not getting up from the couch. This is it. So we called and ordered food all day, and we're like, bring it in. The door's unlocked. The only time we got up was to go to the bathroom, and even that we tried to hold all day and all night. Because we made it. It was like we got up so early, and then it became like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And we're like, we got to go all night, dude. We can't turn.
Don't give up.
Yeah. So we literally stayed until like I think like 11 o'clock at night, and we both looked at each other, and instead of being like happy like we made it, we looked at each other like, this was the fucking worst day of our life.
Why did I do it?
Yeah. We ate like shit. We didn't get anything accomplished. Like,
dude, there was this
horrible
place. Your story reminds me of this time. When I first moved down to Arizona, I was about 20 years old, and I turned 21 about the month after I came here. And I went to this bar. It was called Minder Binders.
Minder Binders.
Minder Binders.
All right. You are terrible with names.
Yeah, I'm really bad. I'm awful. So you remember that? Have you ever been?
I never went. No, I heard about it.
So they used to have penny drinks until somebody goes to the bathroom, and then they're full price. So if you pee, you're getting like eye fucked by all these dudes.
Yes.
Don't you do it? And like I'd go there and like I didn't know that, so like I didn't pee before, and I was like drinking. I was like, that was a really cheap drink, and they're like, there's a thing. Don't pee now. I'm like, no, I have to. Can I like leave and come back? Like no. Oh. And then I ruined it. I ruined it for everybody.
Oh, you're the one that did it?
Dude, well, I sat down when I had to do both. Does it count still? I mean, if it's not, it did. I ruined the party.
Guys, I promise I won't pee.
know.
Someone can watch me while I shit. I will not pee.
I'll pinch it off like a hose.
Yes.
And do the business I need to do.
I've heard of people pissing themselves and don't get up because they don't want to ruin it for everybody, or try to piss in a cup while they're sitting there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard all that
like
stuff from that
a bad road
place.
trip.
I've definitely heard stories from that place.
Dude, that was something my dad used to do. My dad used to take pisses in bottles during road trips. That was so weird. And I'm like, Dad, why do you get the normal water bottles? Like, get like a Gatorade. Like, don't you need a bigger? No, you don't. Okay, my genes are great. That's good.
That's so yeah. I've always thought, I'm like, dude, I can't do that. Yeah. I'm not capable of doing that.
No, it's too much. Like, I drive a stick too, and then I got the dick out, and then like driving, and there's gonna be pee everywhere. It's not worth it. Like, where are you? No one's giving birth or about to die. Like, you could pull over.
Sure. I can hold it till the next stop. I'll piss, and then wait, I'm back a minute and a half from where we used to be. No big deal. But no, not your dad.
No,
we're getting there, motherfuckers.
Why is there other people in the car when you're doing this? That's a solo road trip move.
Call the military. They're going to drive up with gasoline. We don't have to stop. They're just going to jet fuel us, and we're going to be on our way.
It's like a Camelback for your dick.
Dude, it's so ridiculous.
My dad was a weird man. He's a great man, though. I love my father, but he just like answered the door in his whitey tighties. All my friends are there, like as advertised.
Dude, did you hear Jason Collins this past weekend?
I love Jason Collins. He was really solid.
Dude. He told that joke about embarrassing. Yeah, about embarrassing his kids, his sons, and how one of them. He was like, when my son would have a project and like his friend would come over and they'd be doing a project together. He's like, I'll walk in the room and be like, oh my God, son, you're so right. He is really cute. And then just leave the room. He's like, the silence in the room after
promise,
that.
Guys, I'm not gay. I promise. We can still hang out at school.
It's genius. So now I'm like, dude, I got to embarrass my son.
That's really. How old's your son?
5.
5?
Yeah, he doesn't get embarrassed.
Not yet. He's on his way.
He is, but he's like, he also thinks it's really funny when I do stupid things. Like, I got a shirt that says hung like a 5-year-old.
Oh, nice.
When he was 2, and we just walk around the mall with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was funny.
So he's like almost to the age where you're going to start embarrassing him. Like, you're going to have to drop him off early, like up the block from school.
Yeah, well.
Maybe like 5-10 years. Yeah. I don't know how many years. I don't have kids.
Probably about another, at least 3 when he's 8, but he's probably a little bit past that. I don't know, but he's real funny too, so I think he likes that shit. I don't know if he'll get that embarrassed because he like wants me to hug him and kiss him and stuff still, like at school in front of people.
You're still his dad, you know.
Yeah. Like I'm his only friend. I mean, he can't. If he loses me, hey, he doesn't have shit.
Yeah.
He's got his mom, and let's be honest, I'm way cooler.
Inherently.
So yeah, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to embarrass him and hope that when he's in high school, he brings a lot of hot 18-year-old girls over the house. I'm just saying.
Just be the coolest dad. That's the trick.
Yeah.
Like, I got beer for you. You're 18. That's perfect. Just don't drive anywhere. All right, cool.
Everybody give me your keys. Girls, give me
Here's
your
some condoms. Just kidding. You're not going to wear these. Get out of here. You're going to get pregnant. That's of course how it happens.
I may be the worst dad, dude.
Yeah. Just make the mistakes. It's okay.
Shit. Yeah, but that's the kind of parent I am. I let him make mistakes and learn from it.
That's good, though. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Instead of being all uptight and then they go to, like, college and then they die, you know? Like,
Dude, no shit.
That's what happens. You can't be that person, you know?
Yeah. Like, my dad always said, like, you'll end up being just like me as a parent. I ended up, like my dad and that kind of. I'm like, dude, no. Like, at least not to start. We're not the same. I let my son get into shit and learn from himself. Like, like we play catch all the time, baseball, and I hit him in the face with the ball. Not on purpose. I mean, he was supposed to catch it, and he just missed, hit him in the face, and he looked at me like, "What, you did that?" I'm like, "No, moron, you did."
Catch
like,
next time.
Put the glove up and catch the goddamn ball.
Exactly.
and
Hands
then,
up.
And
hands
just
up.
cry it out. Like, I'm not going to sit there and baby you. So, and my dad would always baby me still. He holds me and feeds me.
From his breast.
No, he's a cool dude. I love my dad a lot, but we're just different.
Yeah. The styles are always going to be different. I feel like your parents are going to raise you one way, and then you're going to go inverse no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
If they're conservative, you're going to be liberal, and vice
But
versa.
it's so different now, dude. Like,
It
you
is.
can't do anything to kids.
No.
Which is
you can't hit
horseshit.
them. You can't call them names. If you take away their Nintendo, like, you go to jail. Like, that's
Yeah.
what happens to you now. It's fucking
So
stupid.
ridiculous. And then what happens? There was never, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Well, yeah, I can. Like, school shootings and shit didn't happen.
True.
I guess it
just
did when I
kinda
was in high
popped
school.
when we were growing up. When you and I were getting older is when they started happening.
Yeah.
Before then, they, like, didn't exist. It was
Yeah,
just, like, a thing.
ever.
No.
It was like a kid would get the shit kicked out of him, and then he'd learn his lesson, and then those kids that kicked the shit out of him learned that they were fucking morons as they got older. Like, why did I do that? They
and then
figured
like,
it out
they
themselves.
studied like computer science and became like a billionaire. And like that's what happens when you get your ass kicked. Like you
Yeah.
just love computer things.
You learn. Like that. So, this is such a touchy subject, and it shouldn't
is.
be.
It's a racy
but like
one.
bullying, I don't give a shit about
Dude,
it. Let
bullying.
it happen because it teaches your kid to stand up for himself.
You have to. I got bullied. I was a little shrimp. I had frosh on my first day of high school written on my forehead with a permanent marker. Frosh. I'm like, what is that? A frosh. They held me and I was like, no. And they like big people held me down. Like, it was like a rape scene with clothes on and a
Yes.
marker. Like frosh. Like that was my memory. Like I was a little kid. I wrestled about 103 pounds. So like
Holy shit.
I was a little kid.
Is that even considered wrestling?
Yeah, exactly. You're a girl when you're 103 pounds. It doesn't matter what kind of guy, how big your beard is. If you're 100 pounds, you're a girl.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But that's what happened. Like I was always smaller. Like there was a picture of me playing t-ball when I was like 5 or 6, and then there's like kids, and then I'm like me down here, closest to hell. Me.
Yeah.
Hit the ball. It's on the thing. I can't. I don't know.
I can't reach that high.
Tall enough. Who wants to play video games later?
Totally, dude.
But I got picked on, is what I'm saying. Like, definitely. I mean, but it's how you bounce back and how you not let that affect yourself. Because you can do one or two things. That can, like, ruin you or it can drive you. And people let it ruin them just too much.
Yeah, and look, I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking way out of character, and please don't write into the show with letters and shit. Because I'm not going to read them. Everybody knows I don't read. Like, I guess it hits self-esteem in kids, but dude, parent better.
Yeah.
Like, build your kid up.
Yeah.
And give them the
Your little
confidence to
backbone.
where it's all right and, like, know how to act. They're good. I don't know. You just have to dig into their life a little bit, not secretly, but talk to them. And then they'll be like, yeah, I'm getting bullied or something. And tell them how to handle it. Don't go to the school and make it worse.
No. If you rat on people, it makes it worse.
Yeah,
And now
they're
you're
going
a
to
rat.
beat the shit out of you
Yeah.
after school every day.
And I feel like it doesn't happen like that. Like when you or I were growing up, or even our parents. I feel like kids really just got their ass kicked. Now it's like not much will happen. Like
No.
you know,
That's why it's just built up, because it's
Yeah.
just words.
It's words
Of,
now,
hey,
yeah.
Hey, pussy.
Before it was
hey,
violence.
I hate you. Yeah.
now it's words, which hurts more. Which the funny thing about the words is you actually don't heal from the word. You heal from the beating.
Yeah.
But the words that like fucks your emotions up and inside you.
Yeah.
You know, ugh.
But bullying teaches you almost kind of like the real world as a kid.
Because that'll happen. Like sometimes
Yes.
you get your ass
in
kicked.
but in a different way. So, I mean, you could be at an office job and your boss just keeps nagging on you, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like, it's almost like they're bullying me or whatever. Or you're getting picked on in your office for some reason because adults are immature. If you don't go through that as a kid, you're going to be a baby as an adult.
You're not going to take, adversity well.
Not at all.
When you get it, it's the worst. You're like, what happened?
Yeah.
I
Now,
didn't win the Super Bowl.
I'm not saying everybody should be bullied. Like, if you don't go through it
Right.
at all, perfect, man. But I
Yeah.
think this whole kick on bullying's the reason why all this other shit is happening. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but I don't think it all has to do with bullying.
I think
it's low self-esteem.
I
People
think
don't know how to handle themselves.
I think it's low self-esteem. I think I hate to point fingers at like media or video games because that's all we ever hear about anyway. But like, take the NFL into account. These are professional grown men that are fucking huge, and there's bullies, and they're
Yeah.
millionaire huge bullies, and that's a thing.
How funny was that, man?
Oh my god!
What's
his last name again?
Incognito.
His name is Incognito, and he's a bully. It's like the perfect story.
It totally is.
Incognito. Like,
Yeah.
What did he do? He tried to kiss. I don't know.
Yeah, he sent me a text message saying that I suck at football.
He's like, I'm not gonna buy you that drink I said I was gonna buy you, dude.
Yeah, and he tells, dude, I'm being bullied. Come on, man, you're in the NFL.
I wonder, like, how that bubbled up. Like, he had to make a choice. Like, it's time to get people involved, you know? So that's what it comes down to, is I think it's mental fortitude.
Dude, I think the guy literally I think he was a rookie or something, but either way.
Yeah, younger dude.
Nobody knew his name. Nobody gave a shit. And he's like, dude, if I could be the first bullying case and win this shit, then everyone will know my name, and it'll be this huge movement.
Immortalized by being a jerk,
and
you know?
it did not work.
That's what Kanye West does. That's what he does, too.
Yeah?
Immortalized by being a jerk.
Kanye's a douche. Although I do kind of like his music.
His music's good, but, like, he's just a bad person.
Yeah. He got married.
He did.
Real recently.
You know, I see a lot of marriages all around that are bad, too, that have good people in them, and vice versa. So
the Kim and Kanye marriage, how long is it going to last? Forever?
Well, dude, diamonds are forever. But their marriage, probably... Okay, so Kim Kardashian, and I don't really know too much pop culture stuff, but she got married to Chris Humphries.
Yes.
Power forward on the Nets that used to be on the... no, he's on the Nets, and I think the Celtics.
Well, he's on the Celtics now.
On the Celtics
He was
now.
on the Nets, yeah.
And they got married, like, 35 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Within 2 months. Like, an unacceptable amount of time to do that. Like, way less time than they probably spent together. And I envisioned for her, maybe a year is great. That's a best case scenario.
This is her third marriage.
See, that's bad, too. Like, like, isn't there a point, like, you can just date or have fun and then just not be like, hey, I want to lose all my things?
Yeah.
I love getting half and half and half and half. Now I own 12% of my things. Half divided by half divided by half.
Yeah, Geraldo used to tell a bit because he was married 3 times. And
I mean, power to him, but, like, you know, call it sometimes.
Yeah.
Guess, you know?
Well, and he would, but he had a bit of, like, I enjoy getting married because I just clean out half of my shit that I don't even want anymore. So, like,
just become a minimalist.
by the third one, I was just buying shit I didn't want so that she would then take it. And I'd be like, oh, don't take that. But really, please, get it the fuck out of here.
Like, I left my my TV at my ex-girlfriend's house.
Oh, never.
And the reason I did that, and I'm not a big fan of being, like, usually because it ended not amicably, I was like, fuck you. You know, get out immediately.
The reason I take it is because I slammed a controller through it.
It
so
was
I just
broken.
left it there.
No, I got it. It was sort of a gift because the time I did spend with her, I, like, you know, I changed jobs a bunch of times. It was sort of like a thank you, even though it ended with, like, a fuck you.
Yeah.
It was like, I was a nice guy. Gave her a TV that I wanted to keep myself. Most people wouldn't have done that, and I kind of regret it. I kind of feel like I want that TV back.
Dude, let Ski Mask it and get in there. Get it back.
Hey, dude, I know where she lives. This could be incriminating myself if that TV goes missing right now.
I know all the schematics, dude. Trust me, we got it.
Oh, man. But I don't know. It's good to be a good person. Even when things don't go well, I find that being a good person, doing good things, you should still continue in your own life.
Are you a karma believer?
Big time. A big time karma believer. I think that... Oh, I'm not like a pay it forward, you know, let's open the door for everybody and, you know, use paper instead of plastic. Which is stupid.
That's just like
That's like a rule of thumb thing. It's not even a karma thing.
It's like a natural, whatever the hell, I don't know.
Well, I think karma towards other people,
I'm so
like...
stupid.
We're all stupid. I think being a nice person is key. I think that's the most important thing. Because if you do good things in the world, good things will come back to you. Eventually.
Eventually, yeah, of course,
die.
eventually. It's not like bad things just always happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, you have sprints. My sprint's coming up. I did find, like, I had 2 weeks to find a new place. I found it, super cheap, month to month, house, pool, shuffleboard table. What?
Dude, that's awesome.
So it's a great, like, batch pad, you know?
Like a legitimate shuffleboard thing?
Dude, there's a legit, and there's a pool, and there's, like, a bar around the pool, like, on the back. It's freaking cool.
That is cool.
So, like, just the world, and that's what I'm a big believer of. When things will happen, sometimes the world will provide, but sometimes you have to provide for yourself, too.
Yeah.
You got to be able to dig your heels in, go hard in the paint, you know what I'm saying? Dig those heels in.
The sports reference. I never get to talk about sports on here. I love Nancy not being here. Mm-hmm. Are you a sports guy?
I'm a big sports guy.
I
know pretty much everything except baseball and hockey.
Yeah, I don't know much hockey.
Baseball and hockey, I mean, I like them. I just don't know. I know football and basketball really well.
Yeah. So Kaepernick just signed a big deal.
He is $60-something million guaranteed. I saw that today.
It's fucking ridiculous.
You know what's funny is every time they sign a big contract, like Flacco had one, I think the year before, like the biggest ever. I don't know if it's inflation or what's happening. Kaepernick's he's good. I don't know if he's great. I don't think he should be making more than Brady, Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. Probably not as much as Drew Brees. So in my mind, I'm like, you're good, but Alex Smith was great on that team too. And he got benched for you at mid-season. He's doing great things in Kansas City, and they're paying him peanuts. Yeah. So, yes, they need to lock their great players in because it proliferates their team on the in the long term. But then you lose that cap play. It's the same thing having like a Peyton Manning. The people around him start to dwindle, and your window's closing. Yeah. Is Kaepernick going to fulfill a 6-year contract? No. He's going to fulfill 4. They'll restructure his deal.
The way he plays, he could get hurt and
he could. That's the other thing is you're giving like a read option quarterback $100 million. Yeah. I don't know about that. Russell Wilson doesn't have $100 million, and he's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, he's up next year.
He'll get paid. Yeah. Because he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess.
Flacco got lucky on the same front. He got paid. He won a Super Bowl.
That's crazy. I don't understand NFL contracts at all. I know you can cut the person.
Is what it is.
Then what about the rest?
The rest is non-guaranteed. So
do they ever even get it?
Let's say he chooses not to play tomorrow. Kaepernick's going to be owed $60 million over the course of the contract. What it does is it allows the team, we're going to give you $100 million, but we're going to make sure that you have to work for it. So it allows them to say, if you're healthy and you play it out, you're going to get the fulfillment length.
So can they do $60 million guaranteed out of 100, we'll say, just
which
for numbers' sake.
Stupid anyway. It's a stupid amount of money.
Right. But and it's for 6 years. So can you say as an NFL team, we're going to pay you that $60 million within the first 4 years, and then the $40 million that's left over, we will give you the final 2 years. But they're going to cut them.
And they could.
Yeah.
And they don't
and have so to. That's where that $40 million is saved. They don't.
The Broncos did it with Champ Bailey this year. They owed him north of $10 million, and he was on the last part of his contract. The guaranteed money was paid. They cut him. They didn't owe the $10 million anymore, and they signed. Keep Talib is who they signed.
Yeah, so for a lot.
That happens all the time. Keep Talib, a little overpaid.
Yeah.
He's kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
Wes Welker took him out. I'm a big Broncos fan. So this last year was great and then ended terribly for me. But there's always next year.
God, they got murdered.
Dude. Let a man heal before he... It's been not enough months.
Yes, it has.
Dude, I watched it with my dad, and I was like, from the opening play, I was like, no!
Yeah, how shitty, man.
And it's hard because it's your expectation. Like, you go into that game, you've had Peyton Manning set the touchdown record by 10%, passing yards, offense is just on all cylinders, playing great, and then just a goose egg. Just like, what? That was the biggest thing. Is because if we barely made it, it's a different situation than just coasting. So... maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they'll get it next year with all their free agent signings. But
hopefully, man,
because
they've got
they're in the mix for it.
DeMarcus Ware, right?
DeMarcus Ware opposite Von Miller is going to be great.
Dude, that's awesome.
Von Miller's coming off an ACL tear. DeMarcus Ware's a little older. Still, though, I think he's going to be playing for a ring and he's going to be fired up.
Yeah.
And they got TJ Ward, who has already got in trouble at a strip club before he's even played football because he's from Cleveland.
Dude. You wouldn't be an NFL player unless you got in trouble. Well, unless you're a white NFL player, then you kind of don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is like white NFL players are quarterbacks and like kickers. Sometimes a tight end or a lineman.
Or a really uncomfortable-looking wide receiver.
Yeah.
But never a defensive back.
Exactly,
Jason Sehorn retired. That was the last one.
No, they're not fast enough.
No.
By they, I mean whites.
Yeah, no, everybody gets it.
But I don't know. I mean, like, I love the NFL. I have a hard time getting into college just because I went to Arizona State, and that's just I'm trying to get my heart broken constantly. I feel like some people go to college based on what the football team is doing, and not what it's going to do for you in your education. They're like, "Oh, Auburn's great. I'm going to go there because of football."
Yeah, of course.
So then you graduate, and all you do is watch football, and then like have a shitty job. I'm going to drink beer with the money I bought at my shitty job thanks to Auburn. But Auburn football. Woo!
Didn't even graduate from there. They just went for like 2.5 years before they got kicked out.
I have a friend, and I grew up in Oregon, near Portland, and I have a friend that's like the biggest Oregon Ducks fan. And I love Portland, and the University of Oregon's great football program, but just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Shut up so much. We get it. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Except for you.
But they're...
You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I don't know if it's true.
Oregon football is fun to watch.
It is.
Because it's like basketball on the football field.
It is.
And then you always got to see what uniforms they're wearing each week because it's
Sponsored
different
by
every
Nike.
week.
Autzen Stadium in Oregon is it's really interesting. It's like below the ground.
Yeah.
And it goes up really high. It's like the loudest. It's like Seattle.
Yeah.
It's like the Seahawks Stadium.
Dude, I'm a UCLA guy, and every time we play at Oregon, football and basketball,
Yeah.
we lose.
It's a home court advantage for real, and usually people say those don't exist, but I think it does. I think in the
there it
players'
does for
minds-
sure, man. I mean, the team's really good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's so loud there and intimidating that
It's a hard place to come and play and win, and that's the thing because you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Do you
Am I a
tell
little
any
bitch?
sports jokes?
You know what? I sometimes will. I have, but they're always really stupid, cheap, and easy.
I have such trouble writing sports jokes.
Richie
I
does
don't
them.
do
He does
it.
them, some of them really well, and sports jokes. The thing with that, in my perspective with comedy, is you're alienating the people that don't get it. You're alienating the people that don't like sports or don't know enough about it
Yeah.
to get what you're going to say. If you have an audience that's like you or me, you're going to do great, and that's when you should tell the joke. For me, I try to write. How can I connect to the most people? Like
You don't
any
want to
race or
narrow your
religion.
audience.
Because every opportunity is an opportunity. Like you want to capitalize on it. And if you're only written, for example, like we mentioned before, for Arizona, you go to LA and you fucking bomb because you're not ready because you don't know the local scene there and they're not going to get yours.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be lost on people.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I could definitely see that. I think if you do it more in a pop culture-y kind of way, people get it. So like steroids in sports.
Yeah.
When it was at the ultimate thing, Tosh did it, and it made perfect sense to people that didn't really know sports. But he still made it all about sports.
The frame. You framed it correctly. Oh, yeah, PEDs, HGH, all that. Okay, that makes sense. And then he framed it, or you can even get away with something like that if you explain it on the front end.
Yeah.
Repeat it, and then tell the joke.
Yeah.
And it allows people like, oh, now I get it. Instead of like, obscure reference. Oh, what? What is the fuck?
Now I'm going to talk about this for 5
This
minutes.
guy loves talking about his dick, man.
Just always go back to dick talk and jokes.
Call back,
they love
dick
it.
joke, call back. That's something I don't use enough, callbacks to.
Callbacks?
That's an opportunity.
You know,
missed out
I wrote this pissed me off. I wrote a Family Guy script and sent it off
Oh,
to
really?
this dude. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you don't know about me.
I don't love to show.
Yeah. And when I sent it in for edit, they came back and said there's too many callbacks.
Really?
Because I did one scene, and then as the script went on, the second time it was in that similar situation, I did a callback to it, and then at the end of the show, I did another callback to it because I thought it was funny.
It's smart.
Yeah,
if they're watching.
and they hated it.
Really?
They're like, we're not.
Maybe
we're
they
not
assume
doing this.
viewers are too stupid or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't even ask after that
That's
because they just kind of
crazy.
ditched the whole thing, and then we changed it around so much it became a completely different episode.
Overall, though, I mean, right, that's different because you're writing sitcom, but overall, callbacks are sophisticated and they show that they kind of close the loop. And I think they're
Yeah.
good. Unutilized for me, but yeah.
Callbacks are real funny in stand-up when it's
Yes,
done right.
Yes. In the same short period, maybe over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Or a closer if it hits like one of your funnier jokes.
Yeah.
And then you call back and people, and then just end it and you're done, get off. Yeah, callbacks can be really funny, but you can't overdo it either. So I guess it
You
makes
could probably
sense.
do two.
Yeah.
You could do two. One is probably what gets done
Yeah.
as a closer or like a preface to a close. Like I'm going to do, my opener has this tag and I'm going to reuse it or something.
Yeah. So do you host a lot of shows?
I do. I like to host.
Yeah.
Richie and I kind of split it up. Where I'll host and he'll host. I've hosted a stand-up live. Like I've hosted other big shows and stuff, which is fun.
That's cool.
It's a different job. Like the host job, and what I've learned of the host job is that the show's just not about you. You get up, you get a response, you hand it to the comic. If a comic bombs, you bring him back up. If you're not supposed to do jokes between, I mean, your job is to feel the pulse of the show and to keep it moving. A good host is completely invisible. A bad host, 100%, is transparent. You can see right through them, and it's awful for everybody.
Yeah.
So a host job, it's more of a grind. I struggle with, like, oh shit, who's that person's name? Like as you saw earlier, oh, John Rodnetchkovich. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what I struggle with. It's just my own self. But I love it. It's fun because you really get to be plugged in as part of the show. But it's a thankless job. So a host is important to have in your back pocket because when you get opportunities to go, hey, you want to host, come out and open. You might be hosting. to have that ready to go is a really important skill set to have.
Do you have a particular set that you do when you're hosting?
Yeah, I go pretty similar but different. Like I do more clean. Like that's another thing is I really try to get clean, and because you don't want to as a host like, oh wow, I just handed the first comic like this really awkward, strange vibe. Like now maybe the show's in a hole, you know. So you're honestly, let's say they give you 5 minutes as a host. If I get a great laugh on 3, I'll just start it. Okay, great. We'll just start it like I did my job, and it's not really about
That's
me.
really smart.
Because it's more about that pulse than anything else. And that's not that 5 years means anything, but that's what I've learned in 5 years is that shit ain't about you.
Yeah, that is part of it. Newly starting comics, when you start, your first step to moving anywhere and doing something is hosting a show. Just getting up there and exactly what you said. Here's a few minutes, do it, then just introduce comics and get your ass off stage. Knowing how to do it is tough. You have to learn. You
do, and you got to eat some shit.
Yeah,
you really do.
A lot.
And the host is weird in the way that, like, you got to. I like try to rotate 3 or 4 things. Like, give it up for, come into the stage, put your hands together. Because I've done it so many times, because you don't want to go, give it up for, give it up for, give it up for, and you're like, what's happening? Is this guy like okay?
Yeah.
And because there's little things that you'll notice and that are transparent, maybe as a comic and not an audience member. But they're little tweaks that you'll make, and that will help you to be a better host. And that's kind of the small things I've picked up.
Dude, that's smart. That's good advice, too, for anybody that's
because it's so easy to do that because it's a Twitch thing. Oh, well, coming to the stage, welcome, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's a friend of the show, you know?
And do it quick, because there's those dudes that get up there.
Dude.
And somebody gets off with their set, and then they're like, give it up for Brian Vilona. You know, Brian and I, we did this yesterday, and then blah, blah, blah.
Cool all the time, and he has cool shoes on, and he might have got a haircut. Well, like some not, like that's,
But even just the in-between shit, it's like, dude, enough. We heard you already. Now bring the next comic up. Let's go.
Or sometimes if someone's bad, it's best sometimes not even say anything and get that next person, or change the lineup. Like, okay, this new guy just bombed. Okay, I know, Kevin's great. I'm going to put him up next. Kevin's going to bring him back. Great, now we have a show again.
Yeah.
So the lineup becomes important, too. It's a puzzle.
Yeah.
If I know, because people, and this is what Brian Rhodes taught me, and I don't know where it really comes from. I'm assuming not original idea. People want 4 things. They want clean or dirty, and they want dry or animated. And it's advantageous to know what's working on, the host doesn't yet.
Yeah.
But they want 2 of those 4 things. They want you to be clean or dirty, and they want you to be really high or low energy. And
that makes sense.
Once you see that working, you're like, okay, I'm going to be, low energy and clean, or high energy and dirty. And those things kind of happen. And there's if comedy has a formula, that's what kind of works for me. But I don't think it really does. I just kind of noticed that.
No, I've never heard it broken down like that, but I agree with that for the most part.
It's just a form, like, what's connecting. If someone's dirty and dry, don't do that next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, be high energy and clean. Like, change it up.
Take the show, take the audience on a ride.
Yes, exactly.
When you're piecing
and they're not
together,
all the same. They're not all the same at all. Like,
no.
they'll like different shit.
No, we say it all the time on here. I mean, you do a set that kills, and then go into the 9:30 show, do the same set, and it bombs. You just never know. You have to.
And they're like 2 hours apart, and you're like, who am I?
Yeah.
What happened?
Or you guys, I've said it. You guys really need to start drinking because it's funnier when you're drunk. It's so stupid. It's such a cop out.
Yeah.
And I'm just such a piece of shit and a pussy.
I'm that way too.
I am.
That's a new one, folks.
I'm just a pussy in that I am still afraid to just eat complete shit.
I think we all are, because I think some of it's ego. I think it's because if you've done it long enough and you like it and you feel that hunger for the laugh and you don't get it, you're just like, God damn it, and it bums you out. But to get better, like we said, you just got to keep grinding and be not afraid to just bomb and have no laughs, because you're going to get up there again. It's not going to be that way.
Yeah, but I also, to your point from earlier, is an open mic. I don't give a shit. Like,
no, you can't.
Cool, I bomb, whatever. I'll learn from it, and I try and take my internal notes and get better at it. But when it's a paid gig or people pay to come to the show, then if I start bombing, I do use the tricks to get out of it, because they paid to see this thing.
Yeah.
And so
if it's a weekend show, and same thing if things are going south, like when to pull your hitters out, or change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe do some crowd work, depending. That's a skill I'm working on right now, is really getting the audience involved. Like, I need to be a little nicer. I kind of offensively heckle people. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
So what the fuck do you do?
I just attack people. I'm like, look at you, you're going down. Everyone,
so bad.
And it's really bad because it's like high school. It's like everyone. I'm gonna make everyone laugh at you. That's what it is.
So bad.
And
if he didn't get parented correctly,
I know,
and bullied.
If my mother loved me more, I wouldn't have been this way.
Call back.
Yeah, boom. But yeah, that's something I'm working on to complete the skill set more, is making sure that you can be on your toes. Because like you've seen probably for yourself, the funniest things you say might not be the things you've written. They might be things that just happen.
Yeah.
And you're quick in the moment and you get that laugh, and now the show's a great one from a good one.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes those little things, but that's a skill in its own to really work out. And some comics do it great. Some comics are terrified of it.
Yeah.
I treat it like this. It's a Twitch gene. I treat it like we're brothers, and I'm like, you're a bitch, and you're like, no, you're a bitch, and here's why, and that's the flow of the conversation. But they have to give me something to start it.
Yeah.
There has to be something there.
Do you talk to or at the audience?
I talk. That's a great question, actually.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Shabana. In different circumstances, both. So I'll talk to them when I'm telling them jokes. I'll talk at them when I'm like, you're going fucking down. Everyone's going to hear about you right now. It's happening.
Yeah.
I think I'll tell you the first good crowd commentary I ever had, I remember. So it was at the Comedy Spot, where I started in Scottsdale. Go to Stand Up Scottsdale, not the Comedy Spot. Person, that's where I work. But this is where the venue.
Everybody says that on this show.
That's where I started, and it's important to give credit to your roots. So I ended a joke, as I often do, about my dick. About my dick so hard, something like that. Uh-huh. And this yoked out dude, right in the front of the stage. I could touch this guy. Not that I want to, but I might. He's right there. And he's like, huh, I bet I got a bigger dick than you. And this is because the joke bombed, and everyone heard it, and everyone was they started to talk. They weren't laughing. Oh my god, what's happening?
So awkward.
It was so weird. And I was put my fingers on my eyes, and I was kind of instantly, without hesitation, I was like, man, you probably do have a bigger dick than me, but at least mine's not going to end up in a guy's mouth later tonight, so fuck you. And huge response.
That's awesome, yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about when I mean working on that skill, that twitch.
Uh-huh.
If you hesitate, don't take it. If it's there, fucking go for it.
For sure.
Because then you can resurrect an otherwise compromised situation. And that's something I really need to improve on.
All right. What, 2 more questions. What do you want out of this career in comedy?
I think if I could, I'll be honest, everyone's like, I want to be a movie star. If I could make what I make now, doing comedy, I would be a happy man. I would do it tomorrow. I would do it right now. Will you give it to me? Please? Honestly, if I can live the lifestyle I live now, which I'm comfortable and happy with, doing what I love, which is comedy, I'll be a happy man. I'm very simple. Going on the road, doing that, making $40,000, $50,000 is perfect for me. And if anything else happens, great. But what I know is, comedy rewards hardworking and funny, talented people. And you have to be the combination of them. And everyone's time is going to happen differently, but my goal for comedy is to sustain my life doing what I love. So, buy everything with the money I make from comedy.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. All right, now you read the last one and then answer it. It's that right there off of that thing.
Okay, all right. What would you attempt to do if you knew you couldn't fail? Ooh. If I knew I couldn't fail, I've failed a lot. So this is an interesting one for me. I mean, the obvious knee-jerk is bang the hottest girl ever, because then, approach one, maybe. I think...
Yeah, you can't fail.
If I knew I couldn't fail, I would run for president. I would do it.
Yeah?
I would take this country, turn it around. I'd be the most liked and disliked person simultaneously.
You're not going to fail, dude, so everybody likes you, I guess.
That's actually true.
Right?
It's start to finish, right? The whole thing? I think being president, that's the biggest egotistical, nonsensical thing I could do in my life. I'm going to be the man.
That's awesome. All right, man. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
The President of the United States, Brian Vilona.
Salute.
This has been another great presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can catch more shows at foureyedradio.com.